Hey there guys, so today we have another beer talk and this is my recap of EBF weekend. I'm going to run through my favorite beers of the EBF event itself and also the Trillium second anniversary event. So first off, number one, I guess probably one of the most exciting beers that people were looking forward to was Treehouse's Good Morning, which I had at EBF. It's a maple imperial stout, also brewed with coffee. Lived up to the hype. Pretty amazing stuff. I mean, it is just an awesome, one of the best imperial stouts you can imagine. And then just imagine it with that amazing maple syrup flavor and sweetness up front, and then that coffee bitterness on the back end. Absolutely killer beer. One of the few beers that actually stands up to topping Goliath's Morning Delight for me. So absolutely amazing. Another beer that actually impressed me more because it's not considered as highly of a beer was Kane Brewing from New Jersey. Kane Brewing's Sunday Brunch. It's the same kind of beer. I believe it's coffee maple imperial stout or imperial milk porter, brewed also with cinnamon. That was incredible. I actually don't know which one's better between Sunday Brunch and Good Morning. I mean, people that are more familiar with the two beers probably can say so, but I had a small pour of each and was blown away by both. And so Kane is absolutely killing it. That was an amazing beer, Sunday Brunch. Another beer was actually from Kane, which was actually maybe my favorite beer of the entire event, was A Night to End All Dawns Coffee Edition, which is basically their imperial stout brewed with coffee. Absolutely amazing beer. Wow. It's not exactly like a Bourbon County coffee. It's more towards like a Speedway barrel-aged Vietnamese Speedway. But what an amazing beer. It's just huge mouthfeel, awesome coffee flavors, vanilla all over. Oh man, that beer is so good. I went back for multiple pours of that beer. That beer is incredible. So it's not the easiest beer to get, but that is one of the best coffee barrel-aged imperial stouts out there. It's absolutely amazing. Moving on, Jackie O's Oro Negro. That is their take on a spicy stout. Hunapoo, Mexican cake, Abraxas, that kind of beer. For me, it tasted in between Abraxas and Mexican cake, and it's on that level. It is that good. People were very disappointed, actually, that Cigar City did not bring Hunapoo to the event. From my experience of Hunapoo, I don't even like it that much compared to other people, so I was very happy with Oro Negro. Oro Negro, just an underrated beer. Not many people know about it. They're hopefully bottling it really soon, so that was incredible. Moving on, we also had Rare Barrel. All of their 4 beers that I had from them were absolutely amazing. Map of the Sun I've had once before, and that beer is an amazing apricot sour. They're one of the best wild or sour breweries in the country. Rare Barrel, highly recommended. Also, I guess Rare Barrel's on the West Coast. On the East Coast, doing wild beers is OEC, relatively new brewery. They're in Connecticut, and they're sort of, I guess, doing a new take on more traditional beers. So they're updating the Berliner Weisses. They're doing barrel-aged Oud Bruin. They're doing wild saison, white wine barrel-aged saison, right? So stuff like that. And I get to really have a bad beer from them, but they're just consistently really interesting beers, awesome beers, highly recommended. OEC, if you're in the Northeast, definitely check them out. So yeah, those are sort of my favorite beers from that entire event. I like the fact that some of those were not really other people's favorites, but to me, one of the most exciting things about craft beer is finding a beer that you like and specifically sort of maybe chasing after that beer and not really following the herd on the beers that everyone is going after. So finding those underrated beers that not everyone knows about is pretty cool. So that was a fun event for me for some of those beers. The day after, Trillium, I actually didn't go to their bottle release. They had a bottle release that was completely busy, hundreds of people trying to get bottles of Trillium beer. I didn't end up doing that. But instead, the next day they had an anniversary party where they had a takeover. I want to say about 15 beers, almost maybe around 15 beers were on tap from Trillium, which is one of the biggest they've ever done. They I guess never do that, and so it was amazing being able to try all these awesome beers from Trillium. And my favorite beer from that event was double dry hopped Melcher Street. That is just a world class IPA, Mosaic IPA. It tastes like Hill Farmstead Society No. 6 mini version, just IPA version. It's just absolutely amazing. One of the best IPAs I've ever had. Their new beer, which is Uppercase, is just as good. Not as good because it's a little bit bigger, a little bit sweeter, a little bit maltier. But again, these are the Trillium beers. They're doing the New England style, that doughy, bright, awesome malt bill that really does not have any sweetness behind it. And so I was just blown away by Trillium. Along with the hoppy beers, they also had PM Dawn, Night and Day, and Day and Night, which are 3 coffee beers, 2 stouts, and a barley wine. And their coffee beers are absolutely amazing. 3 of the best coffee beers I've ever had, and I really like coffee beers. Just absolutely killer stuff. Trillium is killing it. If Trillium was at EBF, they probably would have been one of the top breweries at that event. They're just making some of the best beers in the Northeast, or just in the world in general. Highly recommended if you go to Boston to check out Trillium. So yeah, that's sort of a quick take on my favorite beers from that weekend. If you guys have any questions about, I don't know, food recommendations in Boston, or how EBF was as an event, or something like that, let me know in the comments. I just wanted to give you guys a quick run through my favorite beers. Until next time, guys, cheers, later.